Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic rolls on here on a busy Tuesday morning. McKenna Johnson going to join us here in just a moment. The Bison basketball schedules are done. I think we've known pretty much all the dates outside of one. There'll be a home doubleheader to start the season on November the 4th. The Bison men will play Jamestown that day. The Bison women will play Drake. So double day. I've been told the Drake NDSU women's game is going to be a school day game. And now we know the Bison men are playing that day as well against Jamestown. The Bison women are going everywhere. We thought the football team had a lot of travel this year. Listen to this. The Bison women will play in Alaska, in South Carolina. They make 2 trips to Washington. They go to Louisiana as well as part of the non-conference. I'll have to do the Google map on that, but that's before they get to conference play. And granted, they still have to go to Colorado and Oklahoma in conference play. But, yeah, they got a double. They're playing a tournament in Charleston, South Carolina. We're going to go there next year with football. That's not the end of the world. And they're playing in the Great Alaska Shootout as well. So we have to ask Jory if we can get on maybe one of the flights there. That'd be cool. Just speaking about Alaska. Speaking of Jory, he's got a new player for the class of 2025, and you know her if you've watched any high school basketball in this state over the last couple of years. Announced over the weekend her commitment to play for the class of 2025. Mandan's McKenna Johnson back with us. We had McKenna on a couple of years ago when the recruiting cycle was starting to blow up, and now she announced her commitment to NDSU over the weekend. Congratulations. Does it feel like this has taken forever about the whole recruiting process?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been quite the journey. It's been super going with AAU in college and just everything. I mean, it's an amazing thing that you get to be a part of, but yeah.
You glad it's over?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a big weight is lifted off my shoulders.
So we talked to you 2 years ago. It was after your freshman year. You're about to start your senior year. Just describe how this all evolved. Did it seem a lot when school started coming in, and now that it's over and done with, was it almost overwhelming, I guess is how I'll ask that.
Yeah, it definitely was overwhelming sometimes. Like, it got to the point where you just kind of had to turn your phone off and enjoy like your family, your friends, all that. I know a big thing that my parents preached and everything was don't let it overwhelm you because there's so many kids who would love the opportunity to have this. So, I mean, it definitely was overwhelming during AAU season and all that stuff. And it really put a lot of pressure on you. Like, okay, I want to make the right decision. And when it came time to commit, I was 100% confident in my decision.
Tell me about NDSU. I know they were the first to offer you, heck now, 2.5 years ago. Why was the Bison, why was Jory Collins the right fit for you in your mind?
Just the culture that they have been able to create within the last few years, watching them play, and just the coaching staff has always kind of felt like family. I mean, they're always welcoming with open arms, and we're so confident in me and my playing abilities. I mean, it just felt like the perfect fit. And the ability to be able to play D1 and also be 2.5 hours away from home, it's just very ideal. And I mean, I'm very blessed with the opportunity I was given.
Was it a moment, McKenna, where you realized, okay, this is it? Or what made you stand out like, okay, I'm ready to commit?
The funny thing is, the last couple years, I've been so adamant on getting out of the state. Like, you can ask my parents, I was like, okay, I want to get as far away from home as possible. And I think just the way that I had to travel all AAU, it was like, okay, I mean, maybe I want to stay home. And I know Jory reached out 3-4 weeks ago and was like, hey, like, we're still wanting you bad. We are 100% in if you're 100% in. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, okay.
You play for the Minnesota Stars, which is another unbelievable AAU team. Describe that experience, the players you got to play with, and the competition level that you went up against. That how much did that make you, in your mind, a better player?
Oh, I mean, the the girls are just amazing. I mean, the friendships I built this year, it's insane. I mean, I had a friend from Minnesota come down to North Dakota a week ago because, I mean, just the way you're able to compete at such a high level, but also have so much fun with not only the girls, but also the coaching staff. I mean, they really pushed me this year on being able to expand my range and my versatility and just overall being a great player. And the competition, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, you're playing against girls who are five-star athletes who are going to the LSUs, the
Yeah.
South Carolinas, and it's just an experience that is unforgettable, and it not only pushes you as a player, but also as a person.
I've asked other basketball players about this high school rank of AAU. What is it like when you look up in the stands and Don Staley's there or Gino Ariema's there? And I mean, they may not be watching you, but they're out there watching your game. What's that experience like?
I mean, it's so cool, but at the same time, it doesn't even feel real.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking on the sideline and you see Kim Mulkey just sitting there watching you play. I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking, but at the same time, it's like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And you kind of got to take it or leave it.
When
But
did I know I asked you this a couple years ago. When did you start to realize that okay, college basketball may be a thing?
Um, definitely 8th grade year when a lot of the colleges were reaching out and talking to me. And I mean, at first, I didn't think I was going to get very many looks. I mean, coming from a small town, Mandan, North Dakota, it's crazy what AAU can do. And it's like I said, it's such a blessing being able to even have the opportunity to play.
We've watched you play. You're now the all-time leading shot blocker in Mandan history. I know you take a lot of pride in your defense. I know that's something that NDSU is excited about. That's not what everybody wants to play is defense. Why do you enjoy it so much?
I mean, just the ability to alter shots. And I mean, ever since I was little, I've always been preached like, okay, defense first and then offense. And I know our previous head coach, Sean Henderson, he was very adamant about that. And I mean, I've always taken pride in it. I mean, it's fun being able to, like, okay, it's a very big momentum shifter, and being able to do that, it's just, I would take it over offense any day.
You are rare in that. Everybody wants to score. You are 6'2". Did you have a growth spurt or was it kind of gradual?
I think it was 5th grade year. I kind of moved from like 5'6" to 5'9"
Uh,
that summer, and then kind of from there it was steadily like growing an inch every year. But
I have to ask because we follow here on the show all the time. We've seen how good the WDA is. What is that like on a nightly basis when you're facing you face Lily Bell a handful of times? You know Maggie Fricky. You know how good Brooklyn Felkley from Legacy. What's that like going up against those kind of players on a nightly basis?
I mean, it's awesome. It's all you can really ask for. I know WDA is probably one of the hardest conferences to play in. I mean, there's no team that's not good. They have, like you said, the Lily Bell. She's an absolute amazing player, gonna go big places. Me and her work out together. Brooklyn Felkley going to SDSU. I mean, Maggie Fricky for sure going D1. The Century Zoe
Yep.
Austin. I mean, there's not an easy night, and I mean, as a athlete and a competitor, I mean, that's all you can ask for is
Have you and Brooklyn started trash talking yet? Then she's going to be a Jack and you're a Bison.
oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely started, and one of the girls I play AU with, she's going to UND too.
Yes,
So
that's right.
I'm in a big.
To say that though, you mentioned there's 4 Division I players on the western side of the state. That's now common. It wasn't that long ago. When I say that, what goes through your mind?
I mean, it's crazy how girls basketball has evolved in the last 10 years, if that, in the last 4.
Yeah.
I mean, the opportunities AAU gives you, and now social media. I mean, it's not like it was years ago recruiting. I mean, now you can send huddle outs and just film out to anyone. And I mean, it's awesome not only for us, but for the younger classes below us. I mean, it just proves that you can do whatever you set your mind to.
Was there a school that you heard from like, wow, I never expected that? Was there one that comes to mind like, holy cow, what you're calling me?
Oh yeah. I mean, there was definitely like out in Utah, out in Washington. I mean, that was kind of crazy. I was like, I would have never thought in a million years that I'd be getting the calls that I'm getting.
I know it's, you mentioned the top half. You want badly, I'm assuming your senior year, to make state. Minot, you know how good they are. Bismarck's good. Legacy, Century. What's it going to take for you guys to be in the top 4 to make state this year?
I mean, our coach Copus, he's been really pushing us like that off-season work. Like you can't just be waiting for the last minute to be like, oh, now I'm going to go shoot. And we've had a bunch of girls, underclassmen, who have really put in the work this year. And I mean, just making team practices, making team tournaments, kind of doing everything you can. He was kind of like that. And you got to work as a team. I mean, we've had a couple years where it was one player's got to take it and one player's got to be the one scoring. But I feel like this year it's everyone can score. There's not just one main player. We have so many girls and there's so much talent on our team.
My last question before I let you go. When you watch NDSU, where do you see yourself fitting in? Can you see yourself, where do you see yourself on the floor with the Bison?
Yeah, definitely Jory. I mean, I was in Fargo a couple of days ago just going and talking and letting him know that I was committing and just the 4 or 5 spot. And he was like, you'll fit really well. I mean, their upper class is amazing. Molly Lenz coming in, Riley Simon, kind of the Hamlin, all of them. I mean, it's just they play so well together and it's such a team. Like, anyone can score, anyone can play. It's just that was a big thing with me too, like being able to fit in and the group of girls. I mean, I met some and they're just amazing people.
What did Jory say when you told him you were committing?
He was pretty excited. I know the whole staff was pretty excited, especially getting recruited from such a young age from them too. It was really, I don't know, a full circle moment.
Did you celebrate? Have you done that yet? What did you do to celebrate?
We went out to eat. My whole family
There you
all
go.
went out to eat. I know my grandparents were very excited about me staying home. So we celebrated quite a bit.
Fantastic. I appreciate the time. Congratulations. Have a great senior year. Can't wait to see you play, and we'll talk again soon, all right?
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
McKenna Johnson from Mandan, North Dakota, the newest basketball commit for Jory Collins in the NDSU class of 2025. The Bison have 3 for 2025 that are in now. All of them are 6 foot or taller. That's another aspect of what we've had Jory on. We have him on weekly during the basketball season with something we want, length. Johnson had offer from South Dakota State. Fort Wayne, I believe, offered as well. And the Bison, they offered her, it was March of 22. We just got done with the state basketball tournament, and I got a text saying, hey, we're going to offer the freshman. I had to shake my head because we just got done seeing another tournament dominated by underclassmen. I think it was Jossie Schiller's year, I want to say. It all blends together. Of dominating at the state basketball tournament, and then that was Fricky and Bell at in Bismarck, and yeah, you haven't seen maybe another one in McKenna Johnson. Think of that, 4 Division I players out in the WDA in 2025. Gonna be fun to watch. Eric's bringing up, this is the women's basketball schedule that was officially announced. I mentioned this before we had McKenna on. So trips to South Carolina, Alaska, Washington, Louisiana. They're going all over the place. Home opener, as we mentioned, against Drake, Eastern Illinois. There's a couple of non-D1s. It happens. They have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 non-conference home games. I know, though, Tulane is the beginning of a home and home. The Green Wave are coming to Fargo next year. That's good. That's a good get. These games are hard. The Bison could get an Iowa State a couple years ago when they were bad. Now, no one's going to complain. They're in the same boat that Richmond's in all the time. And Dave's schedule is actually pretty good this year. Yeah, there's 3 non-D1s on there. Stout's on there again. They're playing Jamestown and playing Crookston. But they're playing an NSIC team, which hasn't happened in forever. We know the Dragon game is part of that. But look at the other non-conference games. Illinois State, Northern Colorado, Western Michigan, CSU Bakersfield. Those are pretty good. Southern Illinois coming here next year. That's good. I mean, you got to get creative in this. And yeah, you can roll your eyes at me because we're going to be televising the games with Stout, with Jamestown, and with Crookston. But you know what? I take it because they're playing the Dragons in exhibition. I've been asking for that for 10 years. So at least we got that. We'll break. We come back. We'll get you ready for a busy Tuesday and wrap things up. Hot Mike concludes after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV, and Inforum.com.